Mr. Speaker, I was requesting for your guidance as to whether I go ahead and submit the report that I received from the National Lands Commission, because as a government, the report we received, we feel it's not adequately done. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if I'm allowed, I would request that you give guidance to this, whether I go ahead.
Let me take this opportunity to thank the CS. Mr. Speaker, I'm really heartened because NLC is a government department, is squarely under Ministry of Lands. And as the minister has said, we have even had a sitting with the commissioners and the chair. We have even gone round as leaders of Isiolo to look at this matter. But clearly, the chair and the commissioners are evading the issues of Isiolo County. I don't mind the CS submitting the report that he received from NLC, but I will appeal to this House. The only way that Isiolo people can receive justice, let the Committee of Lands or Roads go on the ground, Mr. Speaker, so that Isiolo people can actually get justice as far as this compensation is concerned. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fatuma, just, yes, what is your point of order, Senator Mandago?
Mr. Speaker, I rise on standing order number 105 on the statement of fact. I've heard the Senator for Isiolo saying that the National Land Commission is a department in Ministry of Lands. Mr. Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, the National Land Commission is an independent constitutional commission. Is it in order for the Senator for Isiolo to mislead the House?
Very well, Senator Fatuma Dulo. These are the Chapter 15
Mr. Speaker,
Constitution.
Thank you for this, but whether it's an independent commission or not, it's a commission directly under the parent ministry, which is Ministry of Lands. That is why the minister is responding to the queries. But my request, Mr. Speaker, as far as this matter is concerned, I would urge an appeal to the relevant committee to visit the affected communities so that we can deal with this matter for finality. I thank you.
Senator Chirange. It's not here. Senator Kithure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, CS Lands. I have one question only. There is land in Moali, big chunk of land called Gubalticha. It has a dispute between three communities, the Boran, the Gabra, and the Burji. I wanted to know from the CS if you are aware of this dispute, when are you going to solve this dispute? Thank you.
Honorable CS. What is the point of order, Senator Boni?
Mr. Speaker, I'm lost. The minister has told us that he doesn't believe or is not satisfied with the answer he's giving us. And here we are, after he asked us to make that decision, still listening. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni, a ruling is going to be made to that effect.
Okay.
Yes. A ruling is going to be made to that effect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Honorable CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In regards to the land issue in Moali, I want to tell this August House I'm not aware of it, but I look into it and give a satisfactory response to that. Mr. Speaker, it's good to let this August House know that National Land Commission inspects, values, and rewards any compensation on lands, on public lands. Therefore, and since they are an independent institution, they are allowed to do that by law. So my request, Mr. Speaker, is to let National Lands Commission be summoned so that they can adequately tackle this issue, because all the information that is needed to this August House will only come from them. So I'm still requesting that the House, through you, Mr. Speaker, to request the National Lands Commission to come and give and shed more light to this issue from the Senator Fatuma Dulo.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this question by Senator Fatuma Dulo. And my request, Mr. Speaker, because this is a practice that we've seen NLC undertake in various government projects. Mr. Speaker, you remember there was compensation for the SGR. In my own county, there was compensation for Kentraco transmission lines. And Mr. Speaker, we are seeing this in Isholo. The biggest challenge we have, Mr. Speaker, is the process of valuation by NLC. And Mr. Speaker, I would want to request that the chair of NLC be summoned.
What is your supplementary question, Senator Mandago? You know, this is not a statement where you...
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, my request is the chair NLC should be summoned so that we can ask direct supplementary questions on the issues of valuation. But allow me now that I have this chance to ask the Cabinet Secretary for lands. What plans does the ministry have to ensure that all public utilities in this country are titled? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The government is in the process of securing all public land in the country. This is a process we have started with the learning institutions. That's our universities, our technical colleges, schools, and this was prompted by the grabbing that has been rampant in our public institutions. So, Mr. Speaker, as a ministry, we are working hard to make sure that all public land is secured through titling, and we are doing that through the National Titling Program. Mr. Speaker, the question of land compensation and valuation is done by that independent commission. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we would request as a government to detach the two processes so that we are able as a ministry to supervise and know where there is over valuation and undervaluation. And I totally agree with the senator who has brought up this question that we require the National Lands Commission to come and shed more light to this. Thank you.
Honorable CS, you had two questions to respond to. You attempted to respond question A.
Yes.
Can you proceed to respond to question B?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As a government, we are preparing a national lands value index. Mr. Speaker, so far we've managed to do land value index to 22 counties, and the remaining 25 counties, the process is ongoing, and Isiolo is one of them. This national land value index we are going to develop a database of land values across the country, and we are going to achieve 4 main things. One is to harmonize land values for different areas across the country. We'll also generate a reference point for the land values for compensation and other related purposes. Also, we are going to guide investment decisions for both public and private entities. And lastly, guide national and county governments in budgeting for public projects. So the cure to this, Mr. Speaker, is to have this land value index, because with that, we'll be able to compensate people adequately without overvaluing or without undervaluing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Chiranke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the indulgence. Just a quick supplementary question to the CS of Lands. Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, how many forest evictees or people who have been evicted in Nandi County and the intention of compensating them? Plus, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry and through National Land Commission, they had ordered resurveying of multinational tea estates across South Rift and in Nandi. So specifically in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, the resurveying of multinational tea estates will take how long, Mr. Speaker? And if there is excess lands that are being occupied by the multinational tea estates, what is the intention of the Ministry of Lands to do with the excess land? I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable CS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On issues raised by the Honorable Senator, I would request that I get more time to look into that, because as it was not part of what we had prepared for today, but promise that we are going to look into that and give this House adequate answer to that. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, as you ask your supplementary questions, let it be related to the subject, to the primary question. That will allow the Honorable CS give you a comprehensive answer. Any question, supplementary question that is not related to the primary question, then you will get the very response that you've just received from the CS, that I need to go back and prepare and come back. So your supplementary questions, let them flow from the primary question so that the CS can adequately respond to that. Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My supplementary question is that Waziri, you are aware that title deeds are very important documents in this country today. And most parts of this country, especially in Wajir, Garissa, and Mandera, experiencing issues to do with title deeds. When will the ministry open offices to issue title deeds? Because it has become difficult, traveling all the way from Mandera and Wajir to look for title deeds in this place. So when will you have a regional office that can be able to give us title deeds? And what is your plan?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And to report that we're in the process of opening up registries in areas that had no registries. This is in line with what the government is doing, because what we're doing at the moment is making sure that all our land records are digitized. And with that, that will help us do away with most issues that have been rampant in the land sector. So we are going to bring these services closer to wananchi, and soon we'll be having, we are going to open registries in areas that had none, and that will make sure that